This is probably going to scare you. If you're a small business out there, this should scare you. If it's not good enough and you're selling it to the market, ndiwe kawalala.
Ooh. My products are not that good. How then do I get to that level where I get to match up with this big boy in the industry? Because I'm comparing myself. I mean, he's at the top and I'm still down here.
Yes, fantastic. It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question. And let me tell you, it's a really good question to ask yourself. But let me also tell you another thing. This is probably going to scare you. If you're a small business out there, this should scare you. If it's not good enough and you're selling it to the market, ndiwe kawalala.
Ooh.
All right, so the number one thing we want to establish is that believe in your product. Believe in the service that you deliver to the marketplace.
Yes, sir.
That's the number one winning factor for you to go after the big boys and the big guys. You can even reinvent the very product that they have and add a feature to it and go after the market. So in case you're wondering how to do this, the big boys have established a brand. But let me tell you what's not happening with the big boys. Their brand is not personal. One of the biggest advantages that you have as a small player in the market is that you can actually personalize your brand. By personalizing your brand, I mean you are able to give people just what they want. Understand? There's a lady who does delivery services and she can deliver anything you want to you at any given time. Now tell me DHL doesn't know about her. Tell me FedEx doesn't know about her. They know about her, but she's personalized the service. She'll even do shopping for you. So the biggest point here is that believe in your product. And number two, the biggest strategy you're going to do and put out in the market is make sure your brand is relatable and it is personalized. If somebody had a mobile barbershop and was just as good as any other big player in the market, why not? At lunchtime, Chom. Yeah, you call them. Yeah, outside. You look fine.
Take a fee for
yes,
transport.
you understand. So all I'm saying is that people buy people. And I said this last year. The biggest advantage you have as a small business is that you have a point of contact, which is beyond just being a corporate, but a really interesting approach where you are actually very personal in your approach and delivery of your product or service. So don't be scared because the big brands don't do that.
All right, so let's see if we can pick up some calls. 0977 971111. Good afternoon. I am good, thanks. Who am I speaking to? Charity, all the way from the Copa. How's the Copa Bell today?
Right now it's raining.
Okay. You have a question for Mr. Chilumba?
Yeah, but I don't have the prescription.
Talk to us.
Yeah, when you're doing business, you need at least to have a prescription. Where I do, we do sell data list, but what I do, before other people getting their data list, I get them first thing in the morning. By the time then we're getting them at 8, we already get them.
Alright. Charity, thank you so much. Mr. Chilumba will add a comment on that one.
Yeah, all right, thank you so much.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah, charity.
I like the point she's actually very it's a very valid point.
Yeah.
But she also mentioned competition.
Yes.
Now, I'm trying to understand that. So if my product doesn't have competitions, am I doing the wrong thing?
No, if your product doesn't have competition, you're not doing the wrong thing. Look, there are various levels of competition. There's competition based on price, there's competition based on quality, there's competition based on market penetration. There are different levels of competition. However, the fact that you don't have competition doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing. It might also mean that probably you are first to market. And remember, when you study trends in competitive analysis of any business or product, you quickly realize that the bigger the profitability of a particular sector, the easy likelihood that there will be new entrants in the market. So meaning, if you are enjoying market share today, you have what we call in business first mover advantage. You don't have a lot of people or a lot of competitors chasing after your market. But that is not sustained. There are various strategies which we can talk about in order for you to have what we call sustained competitive advantage. Obviously, that's jargon, but we'll come back to it. The one thing that Charity has hit on that every business should be doing this year, especially small business, is improve on your efficiency. Sometimes we're very lazy to wake up to the fact that certain things don't work, and we want to try something new each and every single day as a small business because we have forgotten the importance of understanding what works and what doesn't. Efficiency is very, very important. Efficiency is basically the amount of time that it takes you to deliver a product or service and land it in the hands of a client. That's efficiency. She talks about before everybody wakes up, I am up. My mother was a baker at some point. We had chi uvuni, not uven. We had chi uvuni chankun outside. Understand? So we could bake buns in there and we could take them to the market for sale. And look, the best time we did that was when everybody was a competitor was not there. By the time they were coming around 9-10 hours, whoever went to sell was back for a third round. All I'm saying is improve the amount of time you take to deliver something to your client. If it is a service, if it is a product, efficiency becomes a competitive advantage. And I'll tell you what, the big boys and the big girls have established policies around, no, if an order comes in at X time, we can't deliver it until Y time. You, as an independent dealer or as a small business, deliver it in real time. And let me give you another clue. Go and look for a partner who is able to do it for you while you chase after new customers. There are so many small businesses who are into freight and forwarding and are also into local logistics. They'll charge you a fraction. But guess what the big boys and the big guys can't do? They can't do that because they want to do everything at scale, meaning bigger, better, and more scaling to the small players. So sign up somebody, do that. Nangufie, if it can't work, let's take it to micro business. Hire somebody to do a bicycle ride, pack it in the back of the bike and deliver it.
Awesome. Now you talked about efficiency and effectiveness a bit in what you've just said.
Yes.
But let's say I have a question. I'm still competing with the big boys in the hood, and I'm looking at my business. In my efficiency and my effectiveness, I'm finding myself having results that actually vary.
Yeah.
Today my results are very good. The following week my results are like not so good, but I'm making sure that my efficiency levels and effectiveness are on flick. So what am I doing wrong if my results for this week are high and next week are low?
Fantastic. I think one of the biggest services that we do when we analyze our small businesses is we think every day should be New Year, meaning we should be partying and enjoying massive profits. The reality of business is that there is no such level of consistency. So there will be days when you don't make the numbers that you want to make, and there will be days when you make more than what you want to make. But for every business, the biggest thing you want is to achieve predictability. Meaning in this month, I'm going to make X. In the month that's coming next, I'm going to make Y. In the month after this, I'm going to make Z. So predictability becomes an important factor. But how do you build predictability in terms of how much you're making is to go back and do two things, Chomba. I mentioned this very, very widely last year, and I said, number one, add processes to your business. Processes means what time do I do what? When do we do what? When do we deliver what? And how do we do it? Okay? From then add systems. Systems are able to help you track how many customers do we serve each particular day? And how many customers are we converting from potential into actual? And how many customers are we converting into short-term to long-term customers? Meaning they've bought from us more than once. The repeatability of that kind of thinking is what creates the impact for you and is able to give you an advantage. So when you measure efficiency, you're measuring your delivery time, and maybe you are measuring your turnaround time. When you measure effectiveness, you are measuring the impact. What kind of impact am I creating in the marketplace? And you might put what we can call key KPIs, key performance indicators, to measure impact and efficiency. It might be core rate, that this week we need to call on X number of customers and we need to convert Y. So that becomes very, very important. So despite the fact that it will go up and down, track it. Ensure you are tracking it. I'll give you a small conversation example now. I had a conversation, I think, last week with one of our clients on the consulting side, and they were trying to put their team to work to the maximum. And I asked them, how many hours do we have in a day? That was a simple question. And guess what? We spent 3 hours breaking down that particular conversation to actually get to the optimum. And let me add this to say that the most important thing you also want to understand is how long does it take you to see one customer and what's the cost that is attached to seeing, acquiring, and converting that customer. In the end, we come up with a simple arithmetic model that talks to what is our cost per customer.
All right, 15:36 is the time on Radio Christian Voice. You are still listening to New Generation Reloaded. My name is Chomba. I have Chilumba Wadia in the studio, our business coach. And of course, this is Business Wednesdays on a New Generation Reloaded, right? We only have a few minutes to go until I release Mr. Chilumba. But I'm enjoying this. I'm actually loving this. But also, Mr. Chilumba.
Yes, sir.
Just to think of how, they... Okay, let's do this. Let's pick up this one before I ask the question.
Let's pick the call.
Okay. Elder Mchunga. Good afternoon.
Elder, Happy New Year. Thank you, sir.
Talk to us.
Thank you, Elder.
Elder Mchunga, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You wanna tackle that comment?
It's straightforward. I think, be honest, and if people buy people, they're going to buy you with all your values. You don't want to cheat people out of their value. And let me add this, that the other important aspect of being a small business and maybe even a bigger business is the value you deliver. And value is very different in terms of definition per individual. It's a lot more like quality. You can't figure out what each one defines it. Others would define quality by, the aesthetics, the beauty of something, and others would define quality with durability. You understand? It's the same with value. For me, I would define value as, the amount of benefit derived from a particular usage of a product or service. Another one would define value in terms of the money that they saved. So what do we want to do here when we are running these businesses is being able to deliver the best value. Be truthful. Know your clients, develop relationships. If it is a taxi ride, it has to be clean, it has to play good music, it has to communicate who you are. So that at the end of the day, we have a customer who enjoyed this service and is able to come back to purchase that value. Remember, value is like a vote. Each customer gives you money. They are voting for that value which you deliver. Each time the customer chooses to give it to another person, you lose in a vote. And in the long run, remember we talked about effectiveness and efficiency? Your numbers are lower than they should have been. What does that do? It impacts on your revenue and in the long run, impacts on your profitability.
All right, 09779711111 is the number you are dialing, or you can come through on 09602000490. Come through and ask your questions and give your comments. Good afternoon, you're through to Radio Christian Voice. I am well, thanks. How are you? Sorry, your name again? Okay, please go ahead with your comment. Hello. Hello. Okay, we seem to have lost that one.
Yeah.
Musa Yopa Dadzi, we don't bite. You can still call us back 09779 1111. Demarius from Luansha. It's good to know that we are together. You're saying good afternoon, DJ. We are together enjoying the show. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, keep those comments coming through on 0977971111. If you've got questions, Mr. Chilumba has got 5 minutes to answer those questions for you. All right, 0977971111. And Mr. Chilumba, I think from what I'm gathering here,
Yeah.
You are just not telling us that we can actually challenge the big boys.
Yeah.
You're also telling us how to be a big boy in the market.
Yeah, I mean, a big boy was once a small boy. You know, they started from somewhere. If you hear a company is 100 years old, I think you've got it covered.
All right, let's do this. Good afternoon, you're through to Radio Christian Voice. Your name, please, and where you calling us from? Mr. Peter. Awesome, Mr. Peter. Go ahead with your question or your comment.
Exactly. Exactly. Peter, I just want to commend you for bringing that up. And I will tell you, it's a differentiation strategy that Pick n Pay has come up with. And many people can actually do this for their businesses. You've noticed something very important there. And inside that, you also know that there are different strategies and approach into different markets. So let's not be scared. The big boys half the time are toothless.
Okay, so let me. We lost this one at some point, but he's back now. Good afternoon. Hello.
Oh, please.
Hello. Hey. We can hear you now. How are you? I am well. You were about to tell us your name. Please go ahead with your comment or question. Sorry? Oh my goodness. Come back.
No, Chomba, I get it. I get it.
Before I actually get to comment, I know you have a lot of things to say on that one. But
Yes.
He's also brought up another one. I'm a small boy.
Yes.
In a market full of big boys, but also there are smaller boys than me that I'm not paying attention to.
Yes.
Because I'm focused on the big boys. I'm trying to beat the big boys at
Yeah.
their game.
Yeah.
But I am losing focus on the ones that are coming behind me. So how do I stay on course while looking at the big boys and what they're doing? Because I'm using their numbers now to get
Yeah.
my business up.
Yeah.
But how can I also make sure that this one that's coming behind me doesn't overtake my business?
I love that. If you're listening,
Mhm.
please take your recorder now and record this point.
Mhm.
Because Chomba has just hit gold. So, very important. Number one.
You have 3 minutes.
Yes. I'm going to use a minute now.
In fact, you have talked that, but let's
Oh, Chomba, you're taking my time, please. So now, everybody listen. Listen very carefully. Every single market, if it has optimum profits availability in it, there is always going to be somebody who's looking to enter it. While you are chasing the big boys, Bururu, there are other people who are chasing you because that's the nature of business.
It is.
If they see you doing well, they will be interested in getting a share of that profit. Remember, nobody's watching you just so you can be successful so they can fail. No, they always want to be. So everybody wants to be successful. And that's a perfect competitive market, as we call it. So now let's talk about your innovation. As a small boy, Chomba, I hope you learn. For listeners, I hope you're listening. The biggest advantage that you have in terms of thinking like this is that you can innovate without having too many complicated things going on. So, in fact, there's a caller. Let's answer that one.
All right. Good afternoon. You're through to Radio Christian Voice. Mr. Tsangas Chongo today. All right. Is it a question or a comment? Because you're gonna have to make it quick.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Watsanga, before you even drop the line, Watsanga, quick one. We were talking about networking, so I want you to be tuning in every day. Last week I was emphasizing what the value that you possess in your networks. Very important. Some of these things we call connections. It's really genuine relationships that somebody has battled to build. You know, my pastor, Bishop Ed Gangambi, says something very important, and he said it to all business people. And he says, while you are busy praying and speaking in tongues, your friend is performing and meeting the necessary people in the marketplace. So for those who are saying, cheated took away, cheated from me, yes, pray, but watch and pray. That's what the Bible says. But also keep an eye on your competition and keep an eye on who you are connecting to. The believers in your network, you know, do they have the right kind of connections? Are they in the business that you're in? Will they help you to gain the necessary leverage to go to the place where you need to go?
Let's do this. Because I have some questions, I think also relating to connections to the question that he asked.
Yeah.
And stuff. Looking at how young people, and I'm thinking we're going to tackle this next week or some other week.
Yes.
All right. How do I, you just don't come to somebody and you say, hey, I have a business. Can you partner with me?
Yeah.
There's a way that you get to package the business.
Yes.
Properly, you get to sell the idea.
Yes.
Now, we want to teach somebody how to do that before they sell the wrong idea to the right people.
I have written about it already.
So we're gonna have to talk about
the next show we do, not this coming week,
no,
but we're gonna advertise it and talk to people about pitching. How do you package an idea to present it for possible funding or to present it to possible partners?
Okay, so you're gonna wrap up in this 30 seconds. All that we've talked about.
Excited. Look, people, everything is possible when you think like a big big business, and
Mhm.
do not look at how small you are and be intimidated. You can do it, and you can do it really well. I'm going to send Chomba some notes. We're going to follow up on this conversation. But the other thing you can do is really, really believe in the fact that customer service is important, and we want you to be fantastic. We want you to be elaborate in the way you approach it, and we want you to pitch yourself as big business. And lastly, go to Chilumba K Walia on all social media platforms. You will find the information. If you have any questions, send them to Christian Voice and we will answer them. I'm always excited to be your cheerleader in business and helping you grow.
All right. And that was Mr. Chilumba Walia. And I think that was a marathon. Hey,
You always put me on these, Chomba.
that was a marathon. I like, I like when people get to actually understand what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think, if
Yeah.
it's like that, then people actually buy
Yeah.
into what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you something special in the coming weeks, all right?
Yeah.
Something very, very special that me and Mr. Chilumba Walia have been talking
Yes.
about. And trust me, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Just look out for it. But now, Mr. Chilumba, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Chomba.
You have been a blessing.
Thank you.